Welcome to Rugged Outdoors Guide. My name is Pete and I am your host. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be talking about a kayak. All right, now I've done this a few times before. This kayak, everything I do is a little bit unique, I think, and this kayak is really unique in that no other kayak looks like it. Even other kayaks that fit in the same niche, which is recreational slash fishing. All right, this is called the Winner Volador 3 Angler, and as you can tell by its name, it really is weighted towards the casual to semi-serious angler, but it's really something that you can just have on a short little trip out on the pond kind of thing, every weekend kind of thing. So you don't have to be hardcore angler to be into this. Although if you are, you'll kind of look like you know what you're doing with this beast. It is the most unique looking kayak, period. Never mind just the most unique in its niche. It's really a very, very cool kayak, and I just want to thank Rob Grossi from CNR Kayak in St. Catharines, Ontario, for letting me take this out and put it through its paces to see if it's worth what they're charging for it. And by the way, Rob Grossi at CNR Kayak, he would love to hear from you, because he knows that when he tells you the price of this thing, you're gonna love it, because he can sell everything that he sells at less than manufacturer's suggested retail price, which actually is a little bit unusual in this industry. So give him a shout if you're interested in this machine, which I'm about to show you. Check him out, crkayak.ca. All right, let's take a look at some of the really unique features, some of them not as unique as I am maybe making them out to be, but still unique, and what makes this kayak so special. Okay, so this kayak comes with a one-piece paddle, but Rob can fix you up with an upgraded paddle for almost nothing more. So I might want to ask him about that. So the one-piece paddle is aluminum, and it's got padded grips, and it's perfectly adequate for this kayak, but you can get some adjustable paddles as well. So talk to him about that. It comes with a height adjustable tube frame seat, so it can sit on two different levels, higher and lower, which is always a nice thing to have. It's always an upgrade as well on most kayaks. It comes with two fishing rod inserts, like holder inserts. One is on the deck itself and one is on the railing on the side. And you can see the railing here on both sides. That's here and over here. It's got two screw-in points for accessories. All right, so here's one rod holder, and it fits in with this this collar here. Try to do it with one hand. So it comes with two storage compartments in front of you. One is kind of right between your legs, the other is near the bow, and these are lockable, watertight storage areas. There is a beverage holder or whatever else you want to put into the little space in front of one of the storage compartments. And then you've got a couple of these drain holes, drain plugs that are not, they won't let water in, but they sure will let it out once you are on dry land. So it comes with a total of 4 rod holders, 2 in the back and then the 2 in the front, which I just told you about. So that's more than enough for most fishing situations. You can see that in the very back, there is a very deep storage area, also with its own drain hole, and it's got the bungee cord over it to keep everything safe and secure. But boy, it sure is a big space for such a small kayak. Okay, so here's an accessory I absolutely love. It's an adjustable trolling motor mount. So here's a couple of anchor points for the Allen key that's holding the bungee cord, and it can still hold the bungee cord, but you would just take these out, the screws that are in there, and replace them with another set that comes with this bracket. And you just stick it on like that, and tighten it down as far as so it doesn't move on you. And right here on this plate is where your trolling motor fits. And then of course the battery goes in right there. Perfect setup for trolling fishing. It's the bulkiness and heaviness of the rear end here is sure to protect everything you have, your battery, and it'll hold the weight really nicely. So great setup for fishing. It has 4 carry handles, one on the front, one on the back, and one on each side so you can, you know, configure your carrying scenario however you would like. So that's a really, really neat accessory to have, because I have used that already just in doing my review of this particular kayak. So there are some additional options. Of course, you have to pay extra for them. We're talking the trolling motor mount and a cart that fits on a bracket on the back, which also fits a rudder. So these are all accessories. They do cost more, but man, they just make life so wonderful, especially if you have a trolling motor. You'll want the rudder, and you'll want the cart, and you'll want the trolling motor mount, trust me. Okay, so what are the specifications? Well, the length is 8 feet 8 inches long, so it's pretty short. The width is 32 inches, the height is 15.7 inches. That's great, that's insanely high, I like that. It just looks tough. The whole thing weighs 47.4 pounds, so that's not too heavy as far as recreational and fishing kayaks go. The capacity is 308 pounds. That's actually pretty good, especially for something this short. It's made of high-density polyethylene, so it's just really tough. Let's just leave it at that, all right? We won't get too much more scientific than that. The cost of this thing is $995 on Winner's website, and that's what you're going to pay in most retail outlets. You know what C&R can give it to you for? You're not going to believe this. I told you that he can sell for a lot less because he doesn't have a retail outlet. He's just got a showroom. He can sell it for $100 less. What? It's $895, guys. That's like the deal of the century, right? So I don't know if he even has any left at this point that you're listening to or you're watching this. Give him a quick email at crkayak.ca and just send him off an email right away. He's really good with answering as quickly as possible. Gosh, I hope he has some left for you. All right, guys, 20 minutes in the Volador 3. What can I tell you? Well, I can tell you that it's got a wonderful capacity. It's deep, all right? So I really like that. Just some musings and thoughts as I'm going along here. Because it's not a covered deck, you will get some drips of water inside the cockpit area. I guess that's to be expected, and there's ways that you can minimize that, but that's not the subject of this particular video. So that's one thing you might want to be concerned about, especially if it's colder weather. You're going to have to dress appropriately and not just like a pair of shorts or anything like that, because they get wet and you'll start to freeze. So the other thing I can tell you is that because it's so short, it tends to turn very quickly with each stroke. Now that's okay because you've got a double blade, right? So you're constantly correcting with each stroke, which is fine, but it does turn on its own. You stop paddling and it'll kind of twirl right around. So to minimize that, the Volador 3 has a lot of stuff on the keel. It's got a keel line, it's got I'm gonna smash into the shore here. It's got a keel line and it's got ridges in the keel that act as a keel, like to keep you going straight and keep your tracking online. But still, I don't know how much that actually does because you still turn quite a bit. Another thing is that if you're a big guy, I'm afraid this is not going to work for you very well, because I'm not even 6 feet tall, and there are 4 places to put your feet on here. So this would work very well for a kid, to be honest, because one of the places is kind of at my knees, and the other 3 places, well, my feet are at the farthest place away that they can possibly be without going over the edge and into the water. So again, if you're over 6 feet, especially if you're like 6'2", 6'3", and bigger, I would again suggest that you look for a different kayak than this, although I just think it's so cool. I love the look of it, and I love how much capacity it holds. It's just amazing, and everybody likes the way it looks. When I was taking it off my truck, people were kind of glancing over and making comments and asking me a little bit about it. So anyway, that's just off the top of my head a couple of thoughts about the Volador 3, but boy, it's comfortable. Oh man, this seat, I could just kind of put my head back and whew, if I was really tired, I could fall asleep like this for sure. Let me try. No, I'm kidding. All right, so I'm gonna try to make it back. I could probably make it back in about 10 minutes. Okay, so what's my final recommendation for the Volador 3? Well, if you are up to about 6 feet tall and you enjoy fishing, but you're not going to use it exclusively for fishing, you're going to want it to maybe just put in a little pond or a stream, that's kind of the best use of it. A little bit of fishing, a little bit of recreation, and if you want something that looks cool, this is going to be your kayak. It's one of the most unique kayaks as far as its aesthetics of anything you've ever seen on the water. It's a completely different design than almost anything that anyone's ever made before. I don't know of anything that looks like this, so that's kind of cool. However, because you're going to get some water inside of it, I would say this is a great kayak to paddle during warmer weather and on your just you know, fishing excursions. On I would say stay away from large water. You don't want to go on the Great Lakes or just any big open water with big waves. It can probably handle it, but you're not going to feel super comfortable with the waves jostling you around. I felt a little bit of that with Lake Ontario. This little stream that I'm on, 20 Mile Creek, it's just off of Lake Ontario, the south shore of Lake Ontario, and I did a little experiment with this just near the mouth of where this reaches Lake Ontario, and the waves coming in, they were fairly big, and this can handle it, but it's just not really fun. You're kind of going whoa, and you're using your paddles to brace yourself, and you know, so you don't tip and whatever. I mean, it's fine, but you know, it's not meant to persevere big waves. It's meant to enjoy small lakes and ponds and rivers and do some fishing, trolling, that kind of thing. So I really like the look of it, and I like the feel of it overall, but I feel like I'm just on the edge of being maybe a little bit too tall even. But I'll tell you, if you are under 6 feet tall, maybe 5 foot, I would say 5'5" to 5'9" is kind of ideal. And if you want a kayak that's going to be a real head turner, and if you want a kayak that's not going to weigh too much, man, this is the one for you. And it's under $1,000. Oh, man, you can't beat that. Under $1,000. Wow.